right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, the Hall of Famer, Brian Bailey. Hello, BB.
How you doing?
I'm great. Great weekend of Pirate athletics. It would have been even better without South Carolina ruining the party and women's soccer and women's basketball. But the football team picks up a win on Thursday night. Basketball knocking off George Mason on Saturday. Let's start with football. You were there in Tulsa, where you talked about it on your show earlier. Tulsa had won 4 in a row, giving the Pirates headaches. Some weird games, some weird calls in that stretch, and East Carolina was big favorites the other night. I was worried about that 14 going up to 16 and a half, 17, whatever. But the Pirates found a way to get it done. Wasn't pretty, but a good road win. And a 6th win for this football team.
Yeah, and I think the impressive part of it is that they won a game where they played absolutely like crap at times. I mean, you can't, that was a beautiful. I think it was Smith early on, the long pass to Smith over the middle, and he got stopped at the half-yard line. They ruled it a touchdown and came back and put it back. You can't not come away with points. From the half-yard line, you got to score.
Yeah.
And I've always, when I see a shotgun in that form, in that situation, I just can't. It just drives me nuts. And then for things to happen, because the one thing you can't happen is you can't have a penalty. I think they had a bumbled handoff, didn't they? That was the first thing that happened to them, and then it just went south from there. So, but you gotta score in that instance, and that would have been maybe the 14 that the spread was. I mean, they were right down there.
And Hauser got his 300 plus and hit some big plays, but
yeah,
when they needed it, they put it on
47th
back.
Again, that's where I talk about the Indian burial grounds or something going on at Tulsa, because he throws the one pass that was awful, and it's ruled an interception on the field, and they review it, and it's ruled incomplete. So you get a second chance, and then you come right back and throw. Let me see if I can get that done a little better. I'm gonna throw a pick six this time. There was just so many plays like that you thought I think a bad football team would have lost that game. And I'm not convinced the Pirates are a great football team, but I think they're getting better and better, and they found a way to get the W. Because at the end, it's just like when you play golf. You get a birdie. Doesn't matter that you hit the tree and the tree threw it to the green. That's how you got it. It's still listed as a birdie.
And a bad football team did lose that game.
A bad football team certainly lost that football game. Yeah.
So before the game, you told us on the Bud Light pregame tailgate that Rajay Harris said he was. Make a wish. Brian Bailey wanted 3 touchdowns, and he said he was going to get you 3. He actually did.
He did. That's exactly right. The referee screwed it up on the other one, but
what a game for him, though.
Oh yeah, and it's so fun to watch him run the football, and that little play where once he breaks the line of scrimmage, and he did it, 3 times in the game, the 2 clutch touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And the thing, I've always liked Rajay since day one. He cracks me up because he calls everybody my guy. But he before the game, I was standing over there, and I thought Blake was going to talk to the team, so I was trying to shoot some video for the coaches show, and then they all got together, and Rajay talked to him, and it was just really good stuff that I could use because he didn't curse, except near the end. But it's stuff we could use on the air, and he's such a good kid. And to see him do, we were just kind of joking around, and I said, "How many have you got in you?" And he said, "How many do you want?" And I said, "I'll take 3."
And did hit the end zone 3 times. 2 of them counted. But also got in the end zone on that 2-point conversion where he just kind of
was clutch.
Wheeled it in.
Yeah.
So and the defense does stand up at the end of the game, and East Carolina gets win number 6. And here's our weekly Blake Harrell chat. What does he have to do, Bailey, to get this head coaching job? There are some fans that want him to have it today. There are some that are still on the fence about it. But I think you've got to obviously uncover every stone and see who's interested in the job, go after whoever. But, man, these guys are really playing hard for Blake Harrell.
Yeah, and I think that's the big attribute for Blake, that they're playing so hard. And, I think there's so many different theories out there. I think if you did give it to Blake, you could probably get him on a 3-year contract and, not pay him, not that I want to cheapen it out, but I think you can get him for less money. And as I've talked to several people about, and then if something happens and you have to make a change, and everybody understands how this thing goes. I think I think he might have taken a little step backwards with the way some of the things that happened on Thursday night, and some of it looked like a lack of discipline. And you don't know whether that was just the fact that they played back-to-back Thursdays. It was an off week. They were on the road, the Tulsa Indian Burial Ground. We don't know what it was, but you can't jump off sides on 4th down twice like they did.
My team loved doing that, by the way.
Exactly. You can't give up some of the big plays that they gave up to a Tulsa team that's not very good. But, again, a win is a win is a win.
And you got to get your bowl plans ready now.
Yes,
Bailey.
we do. Yeah, trying to see. Zach wants him to go to Boston to Fenway Park because he's from up north. I think I like Orlando, the Cure Bowl. I think anytime you get a chance to play in a bowl game, you can go south. I think that's a big plus. I've seen all over the place though. There was one publication that has them going to Hawaii, and I would certainly vote for that.
Melissa's voting for that one too.
Yeah, well, she's often said that she really has never really wanted to go to Hawaii because it's such a long plane trip. But I said, but if you have to go for work and you have to tag along, so I think that'd be a lot of fun.
North Texas on the clock. You going to Denton? Would that be your
Texas.
First trip to Denton?
Yes, we leave on Friday coming up. That'd be my first trip to Denton. Trying to see if we can get an Uber ride to Frisco to go see the Star. I've been to the Star, but I wanted to take Mito and let him see it. But the Star actually...
Cowboys are in Washington. Okay, I was going to say if that game was in Dallas, might have to do a double dip.
That was a good idea. But, yeah, they're in Washington. They're having a great year. But the Star is, and I've said this many times, it's such a cool place. You can take tours and stuff. But around the Star are so many nice restaurants and stuff and Cowboys themed and everything like that. So we may make that trip still.
Did they see the history of your great franchise?
Yes, that's all we have right now is the history of our great franchise.
All right, so Rajay puts the team on his back on Thursday. A couple of days later, and I'm going to highlight these guys throughout today's show. Rajay and R.J. Felton, who just willed his way to a Pirate victory on Saturday. And look, this team, like they do something that you don't want to struggle in basketball, and that's shooting the ball.
Right.
The Pirates struggle there, but man, do they have grit and heart and all that stuff. It was tough to watch at times, but the Pirates pull one out in double overtime against George Mason, and R.J. Felton was cramping up, but every time they needed a bucket, he got one for them.
And that's about as much fun as I've had at a basketball game in a long, long time at East Carolina because Melissa was out of town. I had Bella and I had her best friend Keyshawn with me, and so we were trying to. My tickets are
courtside, weren't you?
My tickets are upstairs, but we were trying to sneak downstairs just to sit somewhere. And Ryan Robinson saw me and said, "Hey, I've got these seats. They're going to be available. You guys want to sit in them?" He loves Bella, so it wasn't because of Brian Bailey. It was because of Bella that we got to sit there. But just watching everything, and we had just an absolute. The kids had a blast, and just the way they played, the way they fought. I mean, RJ's such a good kid, and and after the game, he comes over and shakes everybody's hand, and I mean, it was really with the lack of success in Pirate basketball through the years, it was really neat to see, and hopefully, Coach Schwartz, this is step one of getting this thing completely turned around. But they played their butts off at times. I thought it was a good George Mason. They had some big boys down low. And I thought they're going to win some games. So I thought it was a fun time, good time, and I love it when coaches yell at each other.
Oh, man.
I think that is that's just great theater.
And they didn't wait long.
It was like they tipped it off, and all of a sudden Schwartz is barking like crazy. And I asked Cy Seymour. Cy Seymour said that Schwartz was complaining that the kids were barking back and forth. But I got somebody else over on that side that said that the coach from Mason had said something to, I forget which player it was for East Carolina, but they had recruited him or something, and he barked at him because that's what I interpreted from where I was sitting. It looked like he was saying, "You don't talk to my players." And it reminded me of back in the day, I was a young reporter, and Mike Krzyzewski and Dean Smith at the ACC tournament, and it was Dean was yelling at somebody. It may have been Christian Laettner. and Coach K and Coach K's wife was behind me, and Coach K's in front of me, and they're both screaming at Dean to quit yelling at their players. And I'll never forget
it makes it fun.
Oh
though,
my
don't
goodness, it was great. And Dean won't listen to nobody. He was.
I don't remember a time where they just blew the play dead and went to immediate
I don't remember
timeout
that either.
and didn't explain anything.
No,
they were just like, all right, stop the game.
Stop the game. And I thought at least they would bring both coaches together. But they probably were afraid of that because that might have been a brawl.
They had one ref talking to one guy, one to the other.
I thought they would bring them together and say, "Hey, look, we got to get along here at least a little bit." But they didn't have any technical fouls. They didn't do anything. But they just stopped the game and had a little chit chat with everybody.
And
let's play nice, boys.
Been known to get on the refs, and
have you?
I took it pretty easy the other day, but I guess. I don't know how I feel about this. Do they just swallow their whistles at the end of the game because the end of the first overtime, J. Shane Woodard got hammered by two guys and they didn't call a foul. They just let it go. And then at the end of the second overtime, apparently he came from out of bounds, touched the ball. Should have been Mason Ball out of bounds. I didn't see that. I read that.
Yeah.
I guess you could see it easier on TV. But they swallowed the whistle there, too. So I guess they were saying, we'll let them figure it out on the court.
Well, there
were
some questionable calls in that game for
goodness.
sure. I mean, and it's just, and I'm the same way. But it's funny because I've never sat courtside like that before. Back in the day, we had Media Row that we all sat right there. Because there's a picture of, I think Charles Bloom was the SID. And, you're not allowed to have kids on Media Row. And Rano was like 18 months old. And I had him standing up on Media Row.
Jeez,
and Charles Bloom was walking by, and somebody took a picture. And I thought, oh, man, he didn't notice him at the time. But now there is no Media Row's up in section 713 up there, I think. And, it's outside the Coliseum now. But I'm sitting there, and the referee, you would think he would run on the court, but one of the referees of the three would actually run off the court, and there's not much room. The first time he ran, he almost tripped over my shoe because I was kind of just stretched out like, hey, I'm on the front row. I'm going to sit here and enjoy it. And I thought he was going to trip, but you had to consciously keep your feet in sitting that close to the court. But that's a great seat. That's a great place to watch a game, man.
No doubt about it. Pirates winners in football and basketball. And again, it's easy to not like what's going on. Old man Bailey talks about NIL all the time and hates it, and I understand it. It definitely is not good for the schools and the game. It is good for the players, I guess. But when you get guys like RJ and Rajay, you kind of still feel a little bit good about college athletics and what it's all about.
Yeah, but they're few and far between, and they're going to be fewer and further. It's just something that we're not going to see that much. But when you see guys like that who, dedicate their lives to being Pirates, and you're right, they deserve something special there.
Brian Bailey joining us, got his Cowboys tonight. NFL yesterday, Bailey. You know what? I went to basketball Saturday. I did watch some college football. Had to go to a funeral yesterday, but watched NFL before and after. So I didn't see everything, but was this maybe the most boring weekend of football? And no, football is boring, but as far as like upsets and great finishes, like
there were a couple of Packers-Bears with a blocked field goal at the end.
Yeah.
Steelers-Ravens was a brawl like it usually is. And everybody was saying before that game that it was going to be a high-scoring game, blah, blah, blah. But no, those two got together and they just locked horns. I think it's interesting when your favorite team is not playing on that Sunday because normally, for me, it's like the appetizers and then the main course to watch my favorite team play. Your team played on Thursday. So one of my other favorite things to do is to root against the Eagles, root against the Commanders, and I really don't care about the Giants anymore. But I couldn't do that either because they played on Thursday. I didn't get a chance to see one play from the Commanders-Eagles game. I thought it was going down to the wire. I said something to somebody on the sideline. I said, man, the Commanders and Eagles are going down to the wire. And they go, I think the Eagles just scored twice really quick, and I think they're going to blow them out. And I thought
Saquon got going.
Yeah, he's tough.
And Jaden Daniels, I don't know if he's been figured out. That Eagles defense is really good.
Yeah.
They are solid. For the Commanders now, we just got to beat bad teams, and that includes your team right now. If they beat the Cowboys twice, the Titans, and the Saints, that's 11 wins. They can get into the playoffs. But I make no mistake about it. The Commanders beat bad teams and lose to good teams. That's what we've done so far this year. And that could be enough to get them
Oh,
in the
will
playoffs.
be. I think it will be because, as you said, Dallas plays better on the road, which helps them in that Sunday. But they've got the game tonight, Texans tonight, and then they've got Sunday they got the Commanders, and then Thursday they've got the Giants. So they've got 3 games in 11 days.
That's not great scheduling.
No,
right there.
I don't think it is either. But
I like catching them on a short week.
Short week and not a whole lot going on up there. So
Is
it'll be
Dak
interesting to see what happens.
done for the year?
Yes, he got the surgery, so he's done for the year, and that's expensive surgery.
How much Trey Lance do we see?
I don't know. He must not be very good.
I know.
Because
What a weird...
I've kind of looked when they first made the trade. I thought, okay, he's got plenty of time. You don't have to do anything with him, But they're paying him too much money, and he must not be very good because Cooper Rush has played well in the past when the Cowboys were good when Dak was hurt. Cowboys aren't good this year.
Right.
Cooper didn't play worth a darn the other day, and so it's a little different there.
What do you think about the 49ers right now?
Yeah, they're hot and cold, hit and miss. And, I watched some of that game yesterday afternoon, too. And Geno scored that touchdown late and put them out. But, when you look at the playoff picture in the NFC, it looks like the Lions and Eagles are the top 2. And I think, the Commanders are the 3rd? Are they up ahead of everybody else? The Packers any good?
No, the Vikings are up there.
The Vikings are up there record-wise. But are they good? I can't figure that out either. Because I look at them, I don't think they're that good. Now look at the record. Were they 8-2?
Yeah, Sam Darnold doesn't scare me.
Right. I mean, but with their record, they're going to get some home games in the postseason. So
I tell you what, the dang Lions are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They are the team to beat right now.
I think so.
Even though like Mahomes, you don't want to bet against them.
Right.
The Lions. If it was Kansas City, Detroit in the Super Bowl, the Lions got to be favored.
I think so. I think the Lions will be favored against anybody. I said yesterday during that 4 o'clock window that I thought it would be the Bills and the Lions maybe in the Super Bowl. But we still got a lot of football still to be played. We got to figure out if the Vikings are good or not. And
home field matters so much too in the playoffs. And Buffalo getting that win yesterday was big.
Yes, and that's big. If they can get that thing going again.
Big for them. All right, BB, a lot going on. You kind of called it. J.H. Rose, first of all, should not be in the playoffs with 2 wins.
2-8.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you said if they get in, nobody wants to play them.
No.
That includes, an undefeated team,
Northern
right?
Nash. Northern Nash was undefeated on the year. And Northern Nash had some injuries. I knew one of the running backs was out. I didn't know both were out. But both, they had some running back issues, but still they're very, very good, and they really thought they were going to win that game. But Rose went there, and I saw some highlights. Like I said, I listened to someone on the radio, and they were able to pull off the upset, which was probably the biggest upset in the state, I would think, as a 30 seed.
Even though you thought they'd get it done.
I thought they had a really, really good chance. And when you're thinking about upsets, since it doesn't cost anything to say it, I did say it.
Yeah.
Now, if I wouldn't have put my money on it, I don't think. But yeah, I just thought they had a great chance.
What's round 2 looking like?
Southern Nash is who they play in the second round on the road again. And I don't think Southern Nash is as good as Northern Nash. Northern Nash beat them in the regular season.
J.H. Rose, Nash County champion?
Evidently. They got a chance to win it all right coming up. But
how about Aiden Grifton?
Aiden Grifton, they're back at home. They've got coming in there. Edenton Holmes is coming to Aiden Grifton. So, yeah, that'll be good. Farmville Central goes on the road. I think they're going to Whiteville, if I'm not mistaken. I got it written down, but I put my notes in the
Is basketball started or when does basketball start?
I think it's coming up. I think it's next week is when basketball starts.
Yeah,
So.
lot going on. Fun times.
Yeah.
Pirate Hoops finally away from home. They'll be down in Florida. ECU on the road in football as well. So getting here to Thanksgiving, Bailey.
Yeah, can you believe it? I mean, I've said it 1,000 times, but August 1st hits, and it's just a blur.
I know.
It is just an absolute blur. And I think the older I get, I mean, it's hard to tell, but just football season is interviews on this day, interviews on that day. And
we're almost like players and coaches. We got our schedules.
We have our schedule, and then for us, in the TV ranks, our day really doesn't start officially until like 3 o'clock, and we work till midnight. Now, it's not the hardest job in the world. I will certainly tell you that, and I've been blessed to have it for so long. But those hours, they kind of add up, and then when you look at the calendar and you figure you've had 62 of those years, and you've had 40 years of those seasons, so. But this fall was much better than last fall. I will give you that for sure for this old boy.
No doubt,
Exactly.
for multiple reasons,
Yes.
including a very serious one.
Yes.
We'll have another long one coming up on Saturday, but won't be here until 1:32 a.m., so that's good. It's
Yeah,
a
that is
3:30
good.
kickoff on Saturday, 11:30 a.m. on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, and we'll lob you a phone call on Saturday.
Looking forward to that. Love going on the road with the Pirates. Those Thursday night games are difficult because you go on a Wednesday, and we actually went to a casino in Tulsa, which was really cool. This place was huge, and kind of walked around there, and I lost maybe a little bit of money, but not a lot. But it was fun being there. That big sports bar, that was cool.
Jenny hang out with you?
She didn't get in there until Thursday at some point, and she texted and said, traveling's hard by yourself and all this. I think she missed Chad, but
Missed who?
what did I say?
You pulled a Troy D.
Did I say that?
Yes.
I was thinking Chan because you call him Chan all the time.
Chan and Chan.
Yeah,
Chad.
That's what I was thinking. Chad Chandler.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
He's Chad.
Yeah.
He's Chad.
Well, he'll never let me forget that. We'll have to edit that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, BB, good stuff, man. And you had the tidbit of the day, although you gave somebody credit for it. The Pirates were in their clinching clothes.
Yes, there were the clinching clothes.
Black helmets, white tops, white draws.
And the manager had told me that. I was like, "Are you sure?"
The last
He goes,
3 times now they've clinched a bowl.
Yeah, last time, 3 times the bowl clinching wins came in white trousers, white jerseys, black helmet.
Man,
that's a good look.
that was
for
a
him,
good
too.
tidbit. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, BB. We'll talk to you on Saturday.
All right, tell Chan I said hey.